All right, welcome everyone. We're going to give it a little bit as I see more joining in the audience. All right, welcome everyone. I'd like to welcome first and foremost the Myria core team to the AMA. Thanks for joining us, guys, to our first ever community AMA. On this call, we have some key figures that are in the Myria team, and they're really leading this project. And I'd really like to start with introducing Dave Malcolm. If you could tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi there. Can you hear me okay, Hunter?
I can hear you, Dave.
Oh, okay, great. Hello, everyone. My name's Dave Malcolm. I'm the CMO here at Myria. My role really is to look after the marketing and the brand and communications and bring all of the hard work that everyone at Myria is to our audiences. My background is in gaming, and I'm an entrepreneur as well. I spent many years as the head of marketing and PR at Rockstar Games, where I was very lucky to work on many titles as far back as Manhunt on the PlayStation 2 all the way through to GTA 5. So very, very passionate gamer, and yeah, very excited to have joined the Myria team and also be here today to tell you a little bit more about what's going on. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome, Dave. And we also have Andrew Silver. Hello, Andrew. If you could tell us a little bit about yourself and what's your role here at Myria.
Hey there. My name is Andrew Silver, and I am the CTO here. So I am the chief nerd, and I'm in charge of all the technology. So both our platform as well as the games and all the related good stuff. I've been doing games for about 27 years. I've been at Activision and Electronic Arts and Sony, 2K, most recently Ubisoft. I've done a startup that ended up being acquired by 2K. And I'm just real excited to be on this project and can't wait to tell you all about it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being with us, Andrew. We also have with the game development team, we have Ivan Fortunov. Welcome, Ivan. Could you also tell us and tell our Myrians what you do at Myria and some background about yourself?
Welcome, guys. So yeah, thanks. Uh, I'm basically the next nerd in line, and also quite an avid gamer myself. I'm responsible for the game design and the creation of games around here. Have been doing that for a reasonable amount of time, and for a decent amount of companies and variety of games. Like I've been leading a team on the mobile version for Mortal Kombat. I've been doing lots of IPs for Sony, like Ladybug and Cat Noir, Jumanji. Uh, and up to date, I'm handling a number of different projects for Myria. And I would say that from all the companies that I've been in, definitely Myria is my favorite of the bunch for the time being.
Thank you for that, Ivan. And lastly, from our blockchain division, we have Brendan Duhamel, which I think some of you might have already heard speaking from our video AMA last week at Digits Club. Could you please tell the community, for those who don't know who you are, Brendan, just more about yourself and what your role is at Myria?
Yeah, absolutely. Hello, everyone. My name is Brendan Duhamel. I'm one of the co-founders and the head of blockchain at Myria. That means I'm in charge of making sure we deliver on all blockchain aspects so that the games internally as well as our partner games are able to do what they need to do on the blockchain. So that's my role in a nutshell. I've been doing blockchain in some form or another for a decade. I was in Bitcoin in the early days of that space, had a Bitcoin payments startup in 2012-13 timeframe, drifted into the enterprise blockchain sphere for a few years with a trade finance network, and then was lucky enough to get back into crypto in the last couple of years and meet up with the rest of the co-founding team at Myria, and have been working on it now for 8 or 9 months, and I'm really excited to share what we're up to.
Cool. Well, once again, thank you guys for being here and taking the time out of your busy schedules, just for the community to get to know you. If you guys don't mind, we're gonna hop straight into it. For this AMA, we'll have two segments, and the first is going to be some basic questions that I and the mod team we kind of see floating around our Discord a lot, and then the second bit will be the community requested questions. We had an event last week and over the weekend into Monday where the community got to ask questions and then react on the ones they want to hear answers from. So, starting off, our first question is for you, Dave. Can you tell us, for those who are new here, who and what is Myria?
Yeah, you're great. Absolutely. So yeah, let's take it from the top. So who are we? So I guess Myria represents, in the broadest sense, all of us here today and more. It starts with our community, our fans, our investors, our gamers, NFT collectors, and anyone that chooses to join us in the Myriaverse. Then, of course, we have the core team, which stands at around 100 strong today, and that's made up of very passionate, experienced game designers, blockchain developers, product managers, engineers, artists, and many, many more people. Yeah, lucky enough to share the stage here today with some of the functional leads of those teams. And we're all working together to bring our vision to life, which is enhancing the power of play through blockchain. So to the question of what is Myria. So Myria is a decentralized Ethereum layer 2 scaling solution, which we're building to scale digital assets, NFTs, and blockchain gaming to the masses. So with this mission in mind, we need to enable more people to build. We want more people to experience and enjoy the benefits of blockchain in the metaverse. So we're building a game platform, and we'll talk about that in more detail later. The Myria NFT marketplace, the Myria wallet, a decentralized exchange, and then really easy to use API integrations for developers and publishers, so they can easily join us, harness our infrastructure, and unlock the power potential of the games that they're building on the blockchain. So all of that underpins this sort of the ecosystem, the Myria metaverse, and this is all being developed by our gaming division, Myria Studios. Yeah, I think that probably is a nice synopsis.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Dave. There's that's definitely an exciting product line, and I think I'd like to go kind of back to the start and ask, why is the project named Myria? I mean, how exactly did this project start? Can you tell us more about the inception of Myria?
Okay, maybe I can talk about this. So in a nutshell, Myria comes from the word myriad, which in ancient Greek is technically the number 10,000. And in general, it means a large number, which is actually what we're going for, building many games. A big blockchain gaming for everyone is something we are definitely striving for in the long run. So yeah, that's no pretty simple, but it holds a lot of merit when it comes to our mission as a company.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead, Andrew.
Oh no, I was just simply going to reinforce that. Yeah, a myriad is a buttload, one metric buttload, and that's how many. That's what we're aiming to bring to the chain.
Yeah, I think that's a simple but yet like very powerful saying. Um, and Ivan, maybe you can talk more about what games Myria is planning on building, what does our audience get to play and really enjoy.
Yeah, that's my favorite topic actually. So, awesome games would be a fair term. We are currently working on a number of different titles from a variety of genres in order to explore and experiment with how this whole blockchain can augment and enrich the classic user experience. We definitely want to make games that we as gamers enjoy as well and share the fun with as many people out there, because just doing games for the sake of doing games is not that exciting. As a general rule of thumb around Myria, anything is a fair game when it comes to the type of games we're going to be building, considering in general. Right now we have a platformer, reality with battle royale, a racing game, mobile shooter, a couple of more casual partner games on the way as well, such like let's say strategy games, tycoons, simulators, sports games, and that's not even the tip of the iceberg when it comes to what's cooking. A lot of more interesting things are going to come later in time, but yeah, I mean, I cannot talk about everything at the moment. But in general, yeah, I mean, this is just kind of like a extrapolation of what I just talked about when it comes to the name of the company, trying to really cover the whole ground when it comes to variety and type of games we're going to be building.
Yeah, that's very exciting. As a Valorant player myself, I know I'm pumped to play Star Strike Legends. It sounds like overall, we have a good lineup of AAA games that really all gamers here can find something to enjoy. And my next question is kind of taking a look at, as we're growing really fast, let's say I just found out about Myria and I really wanted to understand more. Where would you recommend I start, Dave? Like, what's the first thing I should do if I just heard about Myria and I wanted to get involved?
Sure. So, well, obviously, there's a lot of people here, which is a great start. So you get to hear it from the horse's mouth, so to speak. But yeah, check the normal channels. I mean, we're continuously adding more information to the website, more information about our specific titles that are coming. So keep an eye on that. I would also strongly urge everyone to head over to our Medium page, which is medium.com/@Myria Games. And there you can do a deep dive on the Myria story. And more importantly, you can find out more information about the alliances. And that'll become more relevant as the Myriaverse expands. So you can find out which one you want to join. And then, of course, for day-to-day news and timely updates, follow us on all the usual channels. So follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, and of course, in here on Discord.
And Dave, I know that you mentioned alliances. Is there anything that you can tell us about what's coming next? Next, is there anything exciting our fellow Myrians can get excited about? Is it alliances? Is it a game? What can you tell us?
Sure. So very soon, we will be rewarding our community members with our inaugural NFT drop. The Sigil campaign, it's a free-to-claim Alliance Sigil NFT. And so for a very limited period of time, all new and existing Myria community members will be able to claim that. So like I was saying, watch out for that news coming very soon. And also, head over to the Medium page and choose your alliance wisely, because these decisions stay with you.
Wow, I know some of our community members. You can kind of see they have like a Equinox next to their names. They've already kind of chosen their alliance, but like as Dave said, choose carefully. This is kind of like a one-time decision. And I kind of want to take a step backwards, and there's this comparison that happens a lot in our Discord. One of the common comparisons we get at Myria is to our main competitors, which is Gala and Immutable X. Could you maybe touch upon how we're different than these competitors?
Yeah, sure. I think we're probably might lean on Brendan as well, but I'll take it from the top on this one. So I guess firstly, I just want to say, we have a huge amount of respect for other people in the space who are doing this hard work for all of the gamers and fans out there. That they're driving forward some great innovation in the category. But there are some similarities at first glance, but we're actually very different. So from an infrastructure perspective, importantly, we're an Ethereum layer 2, which means that we're leveraging that security, unlike some of the competitors which have their own L1. And without getting into the weeds, I think all of us have seen some recent hacks and understand the potential risks and vulnerabilities of doing that. So it's very important to us to provide security for everyone, and that's why we're building on Ethereum layer 2. This also, of course, means that trading NFTs, there's practically zero gas on Myria. So that's a huge advantage as well, and a point of difference. From a gaming perspective, we're looking to build high quality AAA games. As you can see by the team that we're assembling, and that's definitely the mission. And these will be under the Myria Studios umbrella. Also from a gaming perspective, something that's super cool and innovative is that we're going to be the first people in the space to have true interoperable NFTs. So if that's your first time hearing this, that means that our NFTs will be interoperable and interlinked between the games. So you can imagine if you have an asset or a skin in one game, you can bring that into another game. And so apart from being really cool and a lot of fun, what that also does is add utility for NFT owners and gamers. Also from the gaming perspective, we're trying to build out a sort of a Steam-like experience, if you will, the gaming hub, where gamers can access their favorite games through the Myria game launcher. So again, quite different to what our competitors are doing. And then from a developer perspective, we're building this permissionless open platform where we encourage people to join us, use our tools to build out their games. Whereas I think you'll find with some of our competitors, their games are sort of internally developed and they're not extending, I guess, the community, the chops, the marketing, and the development talent out to other developers. So I think those are the key things. A bit on infrastructure, very different for gaming, and also this huge platform that we want to offer out to other developers in the space.
Yeah, we can definitely see there's a lot of differences, and I know personally I'm quite excited for these interoperable NFTs because I play a lot of games and I've spent maybe thousands of dollars on each ones, and you can't really take those skins anywhere. So it's exciting to see that in the space. I definitely think it is the future for gaming. We're gonna hop into our community segment at this point, and like I said, we did an event last week where the community kind of got to ask questions in our channel, and then Monday they got to react and choose the ones that they wanted to hear answered here during this AMA. So we pulled these questions together, and we're gonna hop into it, and I'm gonna ask them one by one. So the first one, and I think the community is wondering, how are these 100+ staff paid? Because it is a large team. Is it in cash? Is it in nodes? Is it in token share? Maybe you can speak about it, Brandon.
Yeah, of course.
How are we paying our staff?
Yeah, I can jump in here. So we're all very lucky to be able to say that we're salaried, first and foremost. That is our primary incentive. Although we will say that in order to attract the best and brightest going forward, there will, of course, be a small team allocation, which will be just a portion of the development fund, which will be in the ballpark of, call it, 25 to 30%. So only a roughly half is currently what we're thinking will be for team allocation, so that we can bring the best that there is out there in the industry onto the Myria project. So, but primarily we're salaried.
Got it. Thank you for speaking on that, Brandon. And do we have any backers? If so, who are they? How are you able to be salaried?
Sure. So actually, Myria has 0 external investors, and we've all been internally funded to date. So we're in a unique position in that regard. And the reason being is all of our co-founders have run and exited successful businesses in the past, and that's been the source of the funding to date.
Right. I think Andrew mentioned that he co-founded Specular Interactive, which was acquired by 2K. So I see what you mean by having those exits to be able to be privately funded, which I think is quite unique in this crypto space. So moving forward, though, how do you intend, or rather manage to sustain paying current staff and really scaling up to even more employees, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, good question. We can't ask Andrew to shout the drinks forever, right? You know, our mission is, you know, to build a successful and sustainable business, and it's really that simple, you know. So you know, if we're successful, as we plan to be, we'll continue on our path and continue to grow and deliver upon our vision.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So our next question is regarding an announcement that happened recently. Just as we finished filling up the 4,000 node whitelist, the community got to see that there was an announcement that we're going to be adding 3,000 more to the whitelist. And if, for those who don't know about this announcement, this is a raffle that we'll be doing shortly before the public node sale. There's going to be a huge raffle where we're giving away 3,000 additional node whitelists to anyone who's level 5 and above. So the community really wanted to ask, what is the intention here? I mean, is it to get quick cash up front? Is there any assurance you can give us, you know, that this is a serious project that will continue to sustain?
Yeah, I mean, understandable. I hope everyone gets, particularly after this session, that we're a very serious business. Serious as in what we're trying to achieve, but you know, whilst having a lot of fun along the way. I mean, the reality was that we ripped through the original allocation really fast, and the community was growing and growing, and we felt we had the opportunity, and we thought it would be a nice idea to give back to the community, which is why we added some more on. We didn't really want people to miss out, so it really came from that angle. Nothing to do with a cash grab. We want to build a really vibrant community and reward people for being in early with us and supporting us, and so that's where that idea came from. And of course, if it doesn't all go through, we can reallocate that to the public in the future. But it really came from, you know, the founding team and the CEO really just wanting to reward the community.
Yeah, that's really nice. I think oftentimes people kind of hear about projects too late, and then they don't really get to have a chance to be part of that white list. So I think this is like a really good opportunity for people who missed out early can still get involved and still have an opportunity to perhaps get in that white list and feel like an early adopter, right? Because everybody wants to be an OG. You mentioned the CEO, and this kind of transitions nicely into our next question. I think the community just wants to hear, you know, more about him. Maybe, you know, what companies has he founded before? Anything you can share here?
Sure. So our CEO is called John, and he's responsible for the vision, strategic direction of Myria. He's been responsible for pulling the team together initially, which is obviously a big job, getting everyone on board. And you know, he's a successful entrepreneur in his own right. He's founded and led 4 VC-backed multinational companies, has a total of over 2,000 global employees. I'm not sure if that includes us or doesn't include us. And then in the Web3 space, he founded Infinity Force, Aliens, which you mentioned. Infinity Force was funded by Animoca Brands. But it's probably worth noting that despite all of this, John's now 100% of his time focused on building Myria. And he doesn't really use social media, so unfortunately he won't be able to stalk him. But you have to put up with us instead.
Well, I know everyone here is on LinkedIn at least, so there's definitely some public profiles, and you know, we're out there, and we're thankful for having John and his wisdom, especially coming from someone who's experienced in founding projects that are successful. Our next question is about Star Lords. There was a recent AMA with Solar DAO, and people got to hear that I think 1 or 2 games are in alpha, and people saw that being Star Lord grants you alpha access. So they're wondering, do they get to participate in that? when exactly will they get to, try the games? Perhaps Andrew, you can speak more about this.
Sure. So things are looking good and on track. That said, things come up, and so nevertheless, in keeping with the time that we had quoted back on the other at the other AMA, we're still aiming for a beginning of Q3 for one of the games, and I would say the next one is mid Q3. So yeah, I think we're on track, and yeah, you should be seeing them soon.
Awesome. Yeah, that's very exciting to hear that we get to try out these games soon. And I'm excited to kick some of these community members' butts and get a little competitive, maybe trash talk a little bit if my boss allows it. um, and Ivan, I had a question for you. How do you intend to, with Star Lords being the ones that get to really test the game, how do you intend to really run an alpha if there's only like, let's say, 30 or 50 Star Lords? I mean, is this enough to really test the games? How are you going to be able to stress test it and get enough data to really improve on it?
Yeah, that's actually a good question. Well, I would like to start with making a quick distinction between having an early access to a number of players and the actual quality control process that goes with the games. So the former is actually supposed to give visibility to the audience of the preliminary builds and just giving them opportunity to experience the general gameplay direction of the first builds. But when it comes to the actual quality of the product, it's a different story. We have quite a capable internal team of professional testers who are going to go from A to Z on the vertical and the horizontal of the games and make sure that everything is working fine from all the boring technical stuff that neither of the players would actually experience. I mean, most of the time quality checking the game includes a lot of very boring chores and doing stuff that nobody in reality would be doing just to try to break the game. For example, pressing a button 100 times in succession. So yeah, I mean, this is part of the development which is being taken care of on a professional level, and when it comes to the actual early access, it's just for fun, I would say.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's cool that people who achieve Star Lord, they get a little taste of it first before anyone else, and maybe they even get to play with a team first. Um, but it makes sense that you have a professional team that's actually going to handle the quality assurance part and testing all the different parts of the game. Because I'm not sure how many people want to press one button 100 times. I know personally, I'll probably get bored after 10 times, right?
We can have an achievement for that, obviously. I mean, we can gamify it, but yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So our next question is kind of like if anyone has really stalked our Twitter, they might have seen that we were tagged in a couple announcements, and they've been hearing about this strategic sale that went on. Um, have we announced any great partnerships? Maybe we can hear a sample about the partners that we have onboarded. Perhaps Dave, you can talk more about this.
Yeah, sure. So we're very lucky that we managed to get a few solid partnerships on board around the private node sale round, and specifically strategic partners in three key areas. Now, I won't just give you a laundry list of everyone we've partnered with, and obviously not everyone wants to be named, but the sort of three key areas were sort of KOLs, guilds, and VCs, and there's a couple of names that the community might be aware of. So with regards to sort of KOLs, we're working with Mr. Beast, CryptoLark, CryptoManRan, and in the investment VC community, we're working with MetaVest, Master Ventures, and then sort of in guilds, we're working with Avocado Guild, RDG, GGG, and that's just a few. But yeah, I think that's probably a little taste of the quality and support that we're getting from those strategic partners.
Wow, that's awesome to hear that that you've onboarded KOLs, guilds even, for their gaming side and VCs. I know that even some of these guys are in our audience today. So it's cool to kind of group all those guys together here and have them as partners for Myria.
Yeah, shout out to our strategic partners. Thanks, thanks for being part of the journey.
Our next question kind of goes around this developer fund that we have, which is for those that don't know, we have this fund to really incentivize people to build on top of Myria. I think people are just a little bit worried because they've seen chains like Phantasma who are also gaming specific, and they have that great technology and they have those dev funds, but they haven't been able to be successful in really getting not just gamers but builders on top. And you're not seeing a lot of innovations pushed on that chain. So, what kind of strategy are we going to implement to make sure that we can get the most adoption from studios and builders on Myria? Perhaps, Dave, you could start off this question.
Sure. Yeah, it's a great question. I guess from a marketing perspective, what we can offer is the depth of our community, expertise in marketing in the Web3 crypto space, brand building. We have a fantastic network of partners, as we sort of mentioned, which we can leverage, and also just sort of strategic PR. So really the infrastructure we're building around the sort of marketing communications operations, people will be able to take advantage of that, which is quite a unique proposition. So that's probably the marketing thing. I imagine Andrew has some more commentary as well.
Sure. So from my side, one of the things that we are really focusing on in order to bring people over to the Myria way of doing things is that we are building a whole technology stack which will be aimed at our partners, which is basically, you could say, by gaming professionals for gaming professionals. That is to say, all of our tools and our technologies and the way that things works, we very much try to put ourselves in the shoes of the developer who's going to be using it, so that just the fiddly bits make sense. The buttons are in the right place and they make sense, and it's not cryptic, and people are it's a joy to be putting games on our system rather than just a big mystery. So that's something that we really are focusing quite a bit on.
Yeah, and if I could jump in quickly on the blockchain side, the same can be said, which is that we're building tools specifically for blockchain developers. And as much as we would like if they were, because it would make our jobs easier, the blockchain development community is not a monolith. So I think one of the things that you'll see a lot of other projects doing is that they like to support development, but then they'll only provide support for a given language or a given segment of the development community. We want to support a broad array of developers and their languages and environments. So that's the first thing as regards the flexibility that we're going to offer builders on our platform. But then secondly, we often see the tools which are exposed from the blockchain layer very much reduce the optionality that developers have, meaning that there might be pre-written smart contracts or features that have already been added and can just be leveraged by developers. We plan to create, for example, a rules engine so that even if you don't know about how to actually write a smart contract, you can still leverage our APIs and our SDKs and the rest of our developer suite to build the games and the rest of what you need to build as if you were building actually at the protocol stack. So we think that's really important from a blockchain aspect.
Yeah, I think honestly that's huge, and I'd love to just dive deeper into the blockchain side, Brendan, if you let me. Can you elaborate more on the Myria Layer 2 solution? What benefits does it bring? Why wouldn't it have been better to just be an L1?
Yeah, absolutely. So first and foremost, L2 means a lot these days. And so specifically when we say we're an L2 solution, we mean that we are using a ZK-Rollup. So without getting too technical, for those of you that don't know, Knowledge rollups are similar to optimistic rollups in that they combine a large number of layer 2 transactions that are executed off chain and then prove the validity of those off chain transactions to the layer 1 in a single transaction, which radically reduces gas costs. And as Dave mentioned earlier, for us that layer 1 is Ethereum. So the benefits, obviously, as talked about, are lower gas, but I think as importantly is the fact that we're um, anchored to Ethereum, as mentioned. So this means that when you want to move your NFTs or your tokens or anything else that you acquire, when you're interacting with our platform back to Ethereum, you can do so natively without having to rely on bridges, which we know from experience are one of the more risky sort of technical areas in blockchain right now. So that's super important. Why we didn't build our L1 is kind of similar to that, which is that we want to be able to continue to leverage Ethereum, both because of the security aspects, but also because we believe in the Ethereum community long term. We think obviously that's where the most developers are right now, and whoever has the most developers ends up winning in the end. So that's why we want to be anchored to Ethereum, and then just why we didn't use or why we didn't become an L1 ourselves. I think the recent hacks that we've seen in other projects can kind of speak for that. So I won't say anything else on that or call anybody out by name, but obviously building your own L1 is quite a risky venture, and we're not interested in going down that path.
Yeah, I mean, hearing you explain that, I think it's very clear to me, why we're leveraging Ethereum the way we're doing it. And my next question is more about the node specifically, because a lot of people are here for the node whitelist, and that's just finishing out. So they're really diving deeper into the information, and they might have seen something like called a reputational score. And they're wondering, if I have more than one node and I'm actively participating in the ecosystem, I'm playing the games, I'm voting, how will that score differ from a person who maybe only has one node, but who's also actively participating, Brendan?
Yeah, absolutely. So let me say, first of all, a couple of words about the reputation score in general. So this is something we're really excited about, and something importantly that we'll be working directly with you, the community, to come up with the specifics on. But the idea is that in order to incentivize participation across a broad array of activities on the network, node owners will have a reputational score, which is based on that level of participation. As for the specific question about whether if you're a node owner who has multiple nodes or a node owner who has one node, because the reputation score is made up of a number of factors. The factor of specifically participation or voting or playing games will be the same for all of your nodes if you're as the owner actively participating as it would be if you're the owner of a single node.
Got it. I know a lot of people are very excited to get their nodes started and running. So, being one of those people, approximately when will the nodes be up and running? Like, well, when can I get started?
Yeah, good question. So the current plan is end of quarter 3 of this year, 2022. But importantly, we will, as a team, make sure that the market conditions are right on that front. And also, as I'll talk about in a little bit, Myria tokens are required as part of that node sale process, the public sale of the nodes. So we will need to have launched the token first before then. But the current thinking is end of Q3.
Got it. So if I heard you right, the token sale will happen first, and then the public sale will be in Myria tokens. But the for the whitelist, is that in Ethereum, or is that also in Myria tokens, Brendan?
No, yeah, you got it. The public sale of the nodes, because it will happen after the token launch, will be with Myria tokens, which will help with the utility of that token. But for now, the whitelist, yep, Ethereum.
Got it. And will a public node be affordable for the average guy on release after all the whitelist nodes, or like if I want to invest, how much should I have saved up for a node on the public release?
Yeah, definitely. So we think our price is both fair and kind of a good litmus test for somebody's kind of commitment to the network, which is what we want from a node owner, and how much you have to save. We're thinking currently that at node public sale, it will be roughly 3 ETH, and as I said in my previous answer, that will be paid in Myria. So the equivalent of 3 ETH in Myria token will be the price. So start saving now.
All right, thank you, Brent. I appreciate you letting us know and giving us that head start. I want to kind of hop away from nodes because we heard a lot about blockchain, but I want to hop more into the gaming side because I think a lot of people, you know, especially from the Axie Infinity space, they've seen play to earn economies crumble. So it's important to just hear more, perhaps from Ivan. Can you tell us about some of your in-game economy strategies? I mean, how do you plan on building and sustaining a healthy coin model?
Thanks. So basically, this is probably one of the most important questions that actually are pretty complex as well. But as you said, what we're seeing on the market is that the majority of either the newcomers or the existing players are approaching this new domain in kind of like the role of a dream vendors. So they're telling the users what they want to hear, come play our games, and you can become rich overnight. Well, but if you want to stick to reality, then you know that such an inflationary model, which relies on inventing value out of thin air, is basically, for the most part, wishful thinking. So what we are going for, what we're exploring, is a healthy closed loop economy that strives for a balance between sinks and taps, if we need to use the economical terms, and the actual features that are going to put that into the games and facilitate it is like competitions, daily quests, vanity items, and so on. But I mean, you can use those tools in both inflationary and balanced economy, and we want to actually go for the balanced one. So in general, we want to first of all provide the free-to-play AAA titles that are gameplay first. So if you strip away the games from any of the play-to-earn blockchain features, they are still going to remain completely feasible and cool games to play. And we can like augment those with earning as a bonus and all the blockchain cool features that we can see happening out there. So those titles won't be emitting tokens in an inflationary manner, but percentage of the ecosystem revenue will kind of like circulate. I'm oversimplifying it, but kind of like imagine how everything is being closed in a circle, and basically we'll be creating rewarding pools that are designed to create long-lasting, sustainable economy. And I mean, it doesn't make sense to be here for the quick win. Obviously, we want to be building a whole platform out of this, and we want to really chisel down on the know-how of how to create this kind of sustainable economy for the long run.
Yeah, I think that's very exciting to hear. So, I mean, it sounds like it's more like taking an esports side to things, kind of like rewarding based on leaderboard and achievements. And Ivan, would you say our games are they free to play, or will they require NFTs to play? What can we expect here?
We are talking free to play. Obviously, certain features will be accessible through specific mechanics, like, for example, some features will be accessible via staking, others by owning specific NFTs. And that won't really apply only to earning, but also we want to bring this utility of the blockchain to the actual gameplay. So kind of like entwine everything into a more uniform kind of amalgam. So it's not just, okay, we have the blockchain side that is facilitating some monetization and economy, and we have the gameplay side, which is very classical. We want to really bring those together because I truly believe that the blockchain as a technology have certain leverage when it comes to really bringing the user experience further in terms of sense of progression, kind of like return of investment, not only in terms of money, but also in terms of time.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome to hear. Well, guys, this was our last question. I really want to say what a great AMA it was, and just a great first look inside Myria for the community. I appreciate the core team for taking the time to really answer the community questions and attend this AMA. I know you guys are all super busy building. So thank you guys. And listen, we'll be having more in the future. For now, so make sure you're following our Twitter. Make sure you follow our socials like Instagram, and make sure you're participating in our events because we'll have a ton throughout the coming months. And keep up to date with our announcements. So, guys, Brandon, Ivan, Andrew, Dave, thank you for joining us. Thank you for speaking.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Great to be
Absolutely.
here.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, guys.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
All right, guys.